welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex and today we're going to talk about my August reads. So basically this is just a monthly wrap up of the books that I read in August. I'm going to put a little picture of it here and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about the synopsis and what I thought about it. There will be no spoilers and I'll throw in the ratings that I gave for each one. So before we get into it, make sure you hit all the buttons down below so you know when I'm posting. I post every week. And basically this whole channel is just about books, like book reviews, book recommendations. So yeah, if you're into books, you're into people talking about books, give me a follow. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. The first book I read in August was Bloodsucker's Blog by Ella Stone. I did a giveaway for this book on my Instagram. Y'all, I'm so sorry that a lot of people kind of like caught on to the fact that I was doing the giveaway on YouTube like when it was too late to enter. I promise I'm gonna do a giveaway on YouTube when I get more subscribers. So basically if you want me to do a giveaway, you know, help me get more subscribers by liking, commenting, sharing my videos, all that, blah, blah, blah. I've talked about Ella Stone in other posts. I've talked about Hannah Lynn, who is the other writer in this duo. Y'all, read their books, please. So this book is about Merwin Colt, who is been a vampire for like 7 years. She's 17 years old, and she's finally like feeling like she wants to re-emerge into like the living world with all the other people. And basically when she takes a step outside of her comfort zone, she starts a blog about all of her fears and frustrations of being a fairly new vampire. And then shortly after she starts coming out of her shell and being more social, a couple of people like end up dead. And her followers on her blog are like, oh my gosh, did you kill them? This looks like a vampire killing. And so the book is about Merwin trying to solve the murders to clear her own name and to prove to people that like she did not kill these people. There was a lot of twists and turns in this book. It was super funny. Like all those weird little questions and comments that you have about vampires and vampire books, like they really get into it into this book. It's witty, it's funny, sarcastic. The pace was a little slow at the beginning, but it really picked up towards the end. And the way that they ended it made me want to read the sequel right away, which it's not out yet, so don't so don't even go look for it. It's not out yet. This book was only released in July, so I mean, it's brand new basically. I don't even like vampire novels. If y'all have been here a minute, you know I don't really like vampire novels, but this was exceptional just because of the amount of funny that it was for me. Like, I feel like vampire books always take themselves so seriously. This one did not, and I loved that about it. So yeah, go check this one out. The next book I read in August was Where the Dead Sit Talking by Brandon Hobson. The reason I wanted to read this book is because it's set in Oklahoma and it's an indigenous book, so it's set around Cherokee Indigenous tribe, which I'm originally from Oklahoma, so I was like, you know what, this sounds like something I might enjoy. So the book centers around Sequoia, who is a young teen that has been taken from his mom and put into foster care. His mother actually goes into the jail or prison system, can't quite remember. But he gets placed into foster care and he feels like this is the first time that he's felt safe enough in a living environment to explore who he really is. This book was just, I don't really know how to explain it because I'm still not really sure what I think about it. This is just a quick snapshot of Sequoia's life in this foster care family. We are literally dumped right in a day in his life. There's not a lot of like groundwork laid, and then as quickly as we're thrown in, we're taken out. Yeah, it's literally like starting in the middle of a novel and ending before the ending is put in. Do you know what I mean? Was it interesting? Yes. Did I want to keep reading it? Yes. Was I satisfied after I finished reading it? No. Because I still sit here and wonder what happened. What happened to Sequoia? Where is he now? After the ending of the book, what happened to this kid? That is what I'm sitting here thinking after I finished reading it. Now, When I originally picked up this book, I thought this was going to be kind of like a traumatizing foster care situation story, and it was not. The foster care family that took him in was actually really great and did a lot for him. I think they did the best that they could. It really was not a trauma story centered around the foster care system. It was more of a story of how you grow up in trauma and how hard it is to recover, how hard it is to kind of get out of survivor mode and into just like being a child mode. I don't really know what I thought about this book because I definitely think I'm going to be thinking about it for a long time. The next book I read in August was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. Okay, you guys, there is a reason why everybody's talking about this book. It's super popular. It was kind of hard for me to get. It was chosen for my book club, so it wasn't something that I was just gonna like pick for myself, but I am so glad that I read it. So our main character, Nora Seed, finds herself in the Midnight Library, which is a place between life and death. And in the Midnight Library is an infinite number of books with an infinite number of realities, all of Nora's realities. So every decision that she made led to another life that she could potentially lead. While she's in the Midnight Library, she can look at any book that she wants, and the end goal is for her to choose a life to go into. This book blew me away. This book blew me away. It is like Matt Haig wrote a letter to me personally in this book. I felt so seen, so validated, and if you've read the book, then it's like, Alex, are you okay? Yes, I'm fine. I promise. I promise I'm fine. But the way that Matt Haig made this book, it felt so real to me because this is honestly how I see my life. I constantly think of every decision I've ever made, big and small, and I think, man, I wonder what happened to that Alex that made the other decision. Like, I feel like she's out there living a completely different life in a completely different multiverse, and I think about all the other versions of myself all the time and what they're doing and how they're doing, and are they in a better place than me or are they in a worse place than me? And this is something I could just spiral down into forever. And so this book just made so much sense to me because basically it's the multiverse, and it's in the Midnight Library. You can peek into every other life that you could have potentially ever had. And it was so interesting to me. And just the end message of this book, wow. If you like the multiverse, if you like reading about other people's versions of the afterlife, which if y'all have been here a minute, you know I'm into that. It was very good. Now, when I was going over the ratings and the reviews for this book, which I always do, I kind of skim through and read and see what other people were saying about the book after I finished it, you know, in case there's spoilers. But a lot of people were commenting that Nora was extremely privileged because she had a lot of opportunities, she had a lot of potential, she had a lot of people supporting her. Yeah, and I'm going to completely agree with that. Nora's story was a very privileged one. But we must also remember we can't gatekeep depression. Just because you have more opportunities than someone else doesn't invalidate your mental health. It doesn't invalidate your struggles, your internal struggles. Everything that Nora was feeling was very valid. Was she in a privileged situation? Yes. But she also went through a lot of trials and hardships throughout her life that made her feel like she was in a position where she could not go on anymore. I really don't understand how people can gatekeep mental health. But yes, I will say, I agree that Nora came from a place of privilege. But she also struggled with her mental health. That's all I have to say about that. I absolutely love this book. This is going to like the top of my 2022 reads. I absolutely adored this book. So yeah, if you like multiverses and alternate realities and things like that. Read it. Read it. The last book I read in August was Adrift by Tami, Oldham, Ashcraft. The other title for this book is Red Sky and Morning, which I talked about in the Maybe series for this month. And I dug and I triple checked. This is Red Sky and Morning that they did a new cover for and reprinted when the movie was released, so that the movie and the book cover would match, you know, promotional things. And so yes, I did read it. If you don't know this story, it's like a survivorship memoir story. Tami and her fiance Richard are hired to take a boat from Tahiti to San Diego. They get caught in a hurricane and their boat loses its mast. This is the true story of how Tami got that boat from the middle of the ocean to safety. So, things I liked about the book. There were a lot of flashback moments in the book where we go through Tami's life and how she got into boating and this sort of nomadic lifestyle, how she met Richard. A lot of stories of her and Richard going around the world and seeing wonderful and beautiful things. I loved that. I loved getting to hear all their stories and everything like that. That to me was really, really great. But the part where she's at sea, it can get a little boring and a little technical, because if you're not someone that sails regularly, a lot of it just like whoosh right over my head. Like, I don't know anything about boats. They made it digestible, but there were just moments where it's like, I don't really need to know all this. I don't really know what's going on. So you explaining to me what this does on the boat's not really doing a whole lot for me. Other than that, I really liked it. Like, it was just a heartbreaking story. Like, and I knew it would be. When I read it, I knew it would be, but I was really interested to read it. When it came to the end of the book, I'm not really going to talk about it, but I remember thinking I couldn't really get on board with the end of the book. I really had to sit down with myself and be like, this was a legitimate person's life. This was not fiction. This is a true story. This was Tami's story. And I will never be in that situation. I could never understand what Tami went through on that boat and what happened to her after she got off the boat and to safety. So I'm not going to pass judgment on any of the decisions that she made, because how can I? How can I pass judgment on decisions that I would literally never be faced with and could never understand the hardship of? So that's all I'm going to say about the ending. If you like survivalist stories, if you like really just like the stories between her and Richard, it was just the purest, most beautiful love story you'd ever hear. The love between them just blew me away. So if you like stories like that too, I really enjoyed this book. Stay tuned for later this month, because I'm going to do the book comparison with the film. I'm going to rewatch the film and I'm going to talk about the book and the film together. So it should be fun. That's all I have for you guys this week. My August reads. It was a really good month. Like, it's been a while since I've had like a lot of really good books all in one month, so I really enjoyed all of them. Before you go, hit all the buttons down below. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Did you read any of these books? Have you liked any of these books? What do you guys want to see on the channel? Tell me your favorite color, whatever. Fill out my comment section for me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!